This is our Growth Meganos series. If you listened last week, we were talking about points to ponder. This week, we're going to be talking about cost versus value. So what it's going to cost you to improve something in your property versus what kind of value are you going to get out of that? What's your return on your investment? So we're going to link below to a really helpful sheet that actually goes through and gives you some numbers for things based on 2018 numbers, but it's going to give you an idea of, okay, if you replaced your front door, this might be what it cost and this might be the value you get out of that. Now remember, that's 2018. That is pre our COVID market. Our COVID market is shot through the roof. I'm going to give you one fun story about putting in an improvement during COVID and how they gained all of that back. That is abnormal though, but I know you guys love stories, and then I'll give you a couple quick tips before we wrap it up. So quick story, I did get multiple calls during COVID. Hey, we are curious if we could put in a pool, if our home would be increased in value by putting in this pool, and what would our home be worth if we put in this pool? You know, are we kind of going to see a return on that value? Now keep in mind, pools pre-COVID were relatively cheap. You could probably get a lower end pool for around $40,000 and probably a mid-range to a higher range in your 80 to 100 range pools. The pools were pretty reasonable. Now pools pretty much start at 80,000 and go up from there, just depending on where which pool company and what kind of pool you're getting. Most people that called us were able to put in a decent sized pool mid-range and get all of that back in their home's value by 2022. So let's say they put in the pool in 2021. By 2022, their home had appreciated at least 80,000 to 100,000 more than the prior year, because we had mainly a 20% appreciation between that 2021 summer and the early part of 2022. So we're talking about a 12 to 18 month range there where you got appreciation. So most people that called me and talked to me, ran numbers by me, were able to get their value back. That's not the case for everybody. Right now, your quick 3 tips. When you're going to do something to improve the property, areas you want to focus on. Tip number 1, kitchen, master bathroom, curb appeal. Those are the 3 main ones you want to focus on when you're going to make improvements on a property. Now, there will be some, again, resources linked for you, but keep those 3 areas in mind. Tip number 2, when you go to make improvements, let's say you are doing a renovation, you're going to renovate the kitchen, or you're going to go and do the curb appeal renovation, and you're also thinking about doing a fence improvement because you want a nicer fence. That may not be something you get a full value back on, as an example, because if you can see the house from the street and you've got nice curb appeal, you may not necessarily need to do a whole brand new fence on the property. You might be able to just touch up the gates on either side of the house and be a-okay. You don't need to do all the sides of the fence in order to get that curb appeal look, and that would keep money in your pocket because you may not get that money back. However, if you do an interior renovation such as kitchen and bathroom, you should generally get most of that back, maybe not all of it, when you go to sell the property. Those increase the value of your property, not necessarily a fence. While a fence may be desirable and may be needed, may not necessarily improve. Okay, and then tip number 3 is you always want to get 3 bids for the work that you're going to do from a contractor, so you can compare the bids and decide which contractor you want to use. Link below to more information on cost versus value. See you guys next week.